Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're doing a strict step-by-step walkthrough of the TCAS, the Traffic Collision Avoidance System. We're going to break down exactly what happens in the cockpit during an emergency, using this specific sequence to help you permanently lock these life-saving procedures right into your memory. Because let's face it, when that alarm goes off, every single second counts. So, let's jump right in. Here's our roadmap for today. 1. Traffic Advisory Basics. 2. Resolution Advisory Rules. 3. The Trigger Sequence. 4. TA converts to RA. 5. Clear of conflict. And finally, number 6, Inhibitions and Final Notes. All right, Section 1, Traffic Advisory Basics. Okay, so picture this. The system detects nearby traffic, and you hear that unmistakable auditory alert. Traffic, traffic. That right there is your traffic advisory, or TA. It's your initial alert warning you of a potential threat. Now, to help you memorize exactly how to handle this, use this fantastic little trick. TA equals think and anticipate. Never turn or adjust. I'm going to repeat that because it's absolutely crucial. Never turn or adjust. At this stage, the TA is strictly an advisory, meaning it does not command any evasive action. So that brings us perfectly to these strict TO-only rules. And you really want to notice the clear division of rules here between the pilot monitoring, the PM, and the pilot flying, the PF. Rule number 1, like we just said, do not maneuver the aircraft. If you're in manual flight, the PM has to visually search for the intruder. Now, if the autopilot is on, both pilots can visually check, but the PF must maintain a strict, unwavering monitor on those flight instruments. At this point, the pilot in command takes control, and you absolutely must switch your approach and flare lights on. Why? To maximize your aircraft's visibility up there. Now, if you see a TA symbol pop up without an altitude tag, you're looking at a Mode A only threat. Basically, that means it's a standard transponder without altitude data. And here is exactly where time becomes a massive factor. At the TA stage, your time to closest point of approach, your CPA, is between 20 to 48 seconds. To memorize this critical window, use the CPA time trick. TA gives you 20 to 48 seconds to think. That's your window, guys. Spot the traffic and prepare for a potential escalation. Moving on to Section 2, Resolution Advisory Rules. Take a really close look at the rapid loss of time here. Remember, a traffic advisory is a potential threat where you have 20 to 48 seconds to the closest point of approach. But a resolution advisory, or RA, that means an imminent threat of collision. You'll get visual indications on your multifunction display and vertical speed indicators giving you adequate vertical separation instructions from the threat aircraft. But the reality check here is that your CPA has completely vanished. An RA means the threat is literally only 15 to 35 seconds away. Now, if you get an RA, you follow it, period. But there is one absolute, totally non-negotiable rule when an RA happens during the critical landing phase. If your aircraft is in a landing configuration and you get a climb RA, you must initiate a go-around procedure along with your RA evasive maneuvers. Don't even second-guess this. Landing configuration plus climb RA equals go-around. Next up, Section 3, the trigger sequence. The moment that TCAS triggers, you have rigid, step-by-step actions to follow. Step 1, the pilot monitoring calls out, Captain, TCAS. Step 2, switch all landing lights on, flip the seatbelt sign to on, and literally look out for that traffic. Step 3, the PM calls out the position, something like, Cap, traffic, 12 o'clock. And Step 4, the PM calls air traffic control. For example, SG123, confirm reciprocal traffic at our level. A great way to memorize this is the role association trick. PM communicates and configures. Basically, the pilot monitoring is handling the calls, the lights, and the seatbelts, totally freeing up the pilot flying to focus solely on flying the aircraft. All right, Section 4, TA converts to RA. If things escalate and that TA converts to an RA, your steps change instantly. Step 1, the PM calls ATC and states clearly, SG123, TCAS RA. Step 2, the PM immediately shoves the condition levers to max. Step 3, the pilot flying disengages the autopilot. And Step 4, the PF closely follows the RA resolution given by the aircraft. The absolute most crucial point here is the handoff. The pilot monitoring finishes configuring those levers to max, and the pilot flying takes manual control to actually fly the escape maneuver. And speaking of the pilot flying, they have very specific power lever duties depending on the RA. If you get a descend RA, the PF sets the power levers to flight idle. If it's a climb RA, the PF sets those power levers to the rating detent. You can use the power lever pair memory trick to lock this in permanently. Descend means idle, climb means detent. Seriously, say it out loud to yourself a few times. Descend means idle, climb means detent. It works. Okay, Section 5, clear of conflict. So the maneuver worked, and you hear clear of conflict. Now what? Well, you follow these 4 post-conflict steps precisely. Step 1. The PF commands the PM to engage the autopilot. Step 2. The PM informs ATC, clear of conflict, returning to flight level 150. Step 3. You simply allow the aircraft to level out at that assigned altitude. And Step 4. Once you're leveled off, the PM informs ATC one more time. SG-123, flight level 150 resumed. This perfectly illustrates the strict communication loop you need to safely and predictably get your aircraft back to its cleared flight level. But hold on, the danger isn't entirely over just because you avoided the collision. You really need to pay close attention to this vital note. Once that conflicting traffic passes, be prepared for jet upset. Think about it. You've just flown dangerously close to another aircraft, which means you are highly likely to encounter their wake turbulence. You've got to be physically and mentally prepared for your aircraft to get tossed around right after the clear of conflict. Finally, Section 6, Inhibitions and Final Notes. Did you know that depending on whether you're climbing or descending, the TCAS system will actually inhibit or suppress RAs when you're close to the ground? It's true. When climbing, all RAs are inhibited below 1,100 feet above ground level, or AGL, and descend RAs are inhibited below 900 AGL. Now, when descending, all RAs are inhibited below 1,200 AGL, and descend RAs are inhibited below 1,000 AGL. The easiest way to remember this? Just think of the inhibition numbers game. Climbing limits are the oddish numbers 1,100 and 900. Descending limits are the evenish numbers 1,200 and 1,000. Just remember, odd for climb, even for descend. Before we officially wrap up, we really need to reiterate this golden rule one final time, because it is a critical safety directive that absolutely cannot be ignored. If you get a resolution advisory while you're in a landing configuration, you must initiate a go-around or missed approach procedure immediately. You do not try to salvage that landing under any circumstances. You follow the RA and you go around. So I want to leave you with this final thought. When that alarm blares and your CPA is down to a terrifying 15 seconds, will you remember exactly which levers the pilot monitoring pulls and which ones the pilot flying controls? Will you immediately recall that descend means idle, climb means detent, and that the PM communicates and configures? I highly recommend you review this explainer, study these steps, and keep drilling these procedures until the PM versus PF split is completely second nature to you. Stay safe up there, everyone.